May 2009. In the central west end of St. Louis, something new is beginning. Inside the St. Louis Chess Club, the U.S. Chess Championship finds a new home, one that will soon reshape American chess. But in this moment, nothing is guaranteed, not the future of the city, and not the future of one of its most talented players. At 21 years old, Hikaru Nakamura arrives with something to prove. He has already been a prodigy, already been a champion, but that version of him belongs to the past. This tournament is about something else, because quietly behind the scenes, he is questioning everything.
I didn't really view chess as being something that I could pursue professionally in terms of making a living. Around this time, actually, I had considered leaving the US. I actually had started the process to try and immigrate to Canada, and it had nothing to do with chess or anything else. I was just looking for something different. I didn't really view chess as being something that I could pursue professionally in terms of making a living.
At that moment, chess is not a certainty. It is an option, and this tournament will decide whether he stays or goes.
We're all of us, Gata, me, Yuri, and Alex, we're all around the same strength. So once again, I just figure take it one game at a time.
From the outside, Nakamura looks composed, but inside, something has changed. For the first time, he is building a structure around himself.
It was very important because it was the first time that I competed in a tournament where I had a second or a trainer who came with me to the event. That would of course be Chris Littlejohn, who I've been working with for a very long time, and we actually stayed together at, I think it was the Hilton down by the stadium in downtown St. Louis. He lugged his desktop computer all the way from Dallas. He drove about 11 hours to get here.
It sounds almost trivial now, but in 2009, it marks a shift from raw talent to professional preparation.
The fact that we would drive down to the club from downtown here to the Central West End, blasting some music that lasted a while, to specifically would be the song. Yeah, it was great.
There is rhythm now, consistency, a foundation. On the board, the results follow. Wins come early. Draws come when needed. Mistakes are limited. He does not dominate every game, but he controls the tournament.
I think I've won and lost a few too many games recently because I've tried to win every game.
Around him, the field tightens. Gatakamsky brings experience. Robert Hess brings momentum.
There was this player, Robert Hess, who was competing alongside me to try and win the tournament. And most players, I think these days, or most people in chess would think of Robert more as a commentator, but he was also a very strong player, and that was his one great run to try and win the U.S. Championship. So there are a lot of special moments, and I look back on it very fondly.
The tournament becomes less about brilliance and more about endurance. And that is where Nakamura begins to separate himself. Not with perfection, but with presence.
He's a killer, There are not that many people like that who just, when you sit at the board across from them, you just feel he just wants to destroy you, like that.
So obviously, there's a lot of pressure, but the competition, being in the situation in the last round where I have a chance at winning, there's no greater feeling for me than that.
The tournament builds quietly towards its final moment, not with chaos, but with pressure. Nakamura and Hess are tied. Everything comes down to one game. Before the final round, Nakamura is clear about one thing.
I want to win the tournament straight up. Anytime you tie, it's okay, but really, I want to win this tournament.
His opponent, Joshua Friedel. Across the room, Hess plays for Ruja Nakobian. 2 boards, 1 outcome. What happens next is not dramatic. It is decisive. From the opening, Nakamura takes control. No hesitation, no fear, just clarity.
There weren't really many complications for me. It just seemed like a pretty straightforward win.
22 moves later, it's over. A complete victory. But for a few moments, the result still hangs in the air. Because across the room, another game continues. Hess pushes. Akobian resists. And then, a draw. It is finished. Hikaru Nakamura is the 2009 US Chess Champion. Undefeated, 7 out of 9. But the result is only part of the story, because years later, Nakamura would look back at this tournament differently, not as a victory, but as a turning point.
I think beyond the result, it sort of laid the groundwork for me becoming a professional player, having the opportunity to break in the top 20, top 10 in the world, and establish myself as a top player. I really would say, in some sense, I never looked back.
And maybe, more importantly, it changed his decision.
I think that winning that event, it proved that I was here to stay. Just looking back, it was just all around very important. And I think without the US Championship, probably I would not be where I am today.
At the time, those words sound like confidence. In hindsight, they sound like something else. They sound like a realization. Because in St. Louis, two things are happening at once. A city is becoming the center of American chess, with the vision of Rex and Jeannie Sinkfield, and a player is deciding to stay in the game and chase the highest level.
It was the beginning of what has happened since then. It's been 15 plus years now of so many great tournaments, so many memories. At this point in my career, I look back as it being a pivotal turning point.
The moves, the games, the standings, they all matter. But they are not the reason this tournament is remembered. It is remembered because of what almost didn't happen. A player on the verge of walking away, finding a reason not to. In May 2009, Hikaru Nakamura did not just win the US Championship, he chose his future. And in doing so, he helped shape the future of American chess.